But let's look at it in terms of scale. It's worth £1 billion at best a year. Barclays Bank has applied to move £250 billion from London to Dublin, making Barclays Bank the biggest bank in Ireland. That's your children's future. There, that's capital. That is British money leaving our shores. And Theresa May's deal, oh, it's only going to be a 4% knock to the economy. 4% doesn't sound too bad, does it? The credit crunch was a 2% knock. And as a result of that, we had 10 years of austerity. We're still living in it now. Homelessness has doubled. The NHS is in crisis. Education has been slashed to the bone. And that was a 2% knock. And you know the Theresa May's figures? Have a look at the small print. It is if we get a great trade deal with America. Is that going to happen with a protectionist president? A great trade deal with India. Yeah, good look at that. A great trade deal with China and Paraguay. They really don't like Paraguay's on the list, but it's there in the government's own documents. If we don't get those trade deals, amazing trade deals, then we are truly stuffed. How do you get good trade deals? I'll tell you how you get good trade deals. You turn up as a team. David Beckham was a great footballer, but I think if he turned up at the World Cup on his own and said, I don't need the rest of the team, he wouldn't get very far. As part of the EU, we are a group of 550 million people, and we control the wealth of nearly a quarter of the world. Through the EU, we have free trade deals with Canada, Singapore, South Korea, and Japan. Recently signed, comes into action on the 1st of February. That means that we have free trade access as British citizens to a third of the world's wealth. If we step out without a deal, or we go for Theresa May's deal and then we step out at the end of 2 years with not that many trade deals in place, because it takes a long time to get a good trade deal. Look at it this way. In this country, it takes 2 years to get divorced. We need to renegotiate 759 deals that we have at the moment through the EU. We had to renegotiate them for ourselves. The EU gets a say in all those deals, by the way. That's not sovereign. That's not sovereignty. That's surrendering your power. Your power is sovereignty, and your say is sovereignty. If you go into a trade deal in which you are the junior partner, you are giving up some sovereignty for that trade deal. You're having to give something up. And I'll give one damning example of this. There's a thing called the Government Procurement Agreement, nothing to do with the EU. And it goes through the WTO, and it's 46 countries around the world that can all put their bids in for government contracts. So if you're a British company, you can bid on a big infrastructure project in America or in Australia, and they can't give preferential treatment to their own companies. They have to see it all on a level playing field. This is why our new blue British passports are being printed in France because of this agreement. Right? This market is worth $1.7 trillion. And we were being held up for our reapplication to it, because it's consensus, all 46 have to say yes. We were being held up from it by Moldova, by one little country in Eastern Europe was blocking our entry to it because we denied the leader of the trade delegation who came over here to try and talk about post-Brexit trade deals. We denied her a visa. What are we doing? Have we just drank some collective madness juice or something? What is going on with our heads? So when you speak to leavers, and I'm going to just sort of try and wrap it up on this note, because when we get the people's vote, we need to be a lot smarter this time. We need to be a lot smarter than we were last time. We need to not be taken by surprise by foreign interference, by money being brought in, by illegal activity on the other side. We need to rise above that in some ways, and in other ways we need to be a lot smarter with our slogans and the way that we address this. Because if we don't, we are going to be stuck for the next 50 years. His mate, Rees-Mogg, said it's going to take 50 years for us to get back on our feet. I'll be 89 years old. Great. Just in time to, go and shake me fist at the window. Right. So we need to stop it. And that starts with you guys, okay? So it's not just doing the stalls and this kind of stunt or whatever. It starts with Christmas and seeing your family, seeing your friends, seeing your neighbours, and talking to them about Brexit. We need to talk about Brexit. We're British and we don't like talking politics. We get all awkward, but we really need to talk about it because this is our children's futures we're talking about here. And if we are left as an impoverished country with less rights, we aren't able to live, travel, retire, build a house, start a business, get married in other countries without asking people's permission. Those rights are going to be taken away. The rights of British citizens living across Europe are being taken away. The rights of EU citizens living here are being taken away. There was a story I heard at the weekend about a woman whose son was in the British Army. He died in Afghanistan, and she's being told to go back to Germany because she's not allowed to stay here anymore. She wants to stay here so she can tend her son's grave. Her son who died fighting for this country. This is the hostile environment that we're making people live through, and we need to counter this. So what we need to do, get chatting with these people, with our friends and family who voted leave, and say, look, these are my genuine concerns about what's going on, and we need to turn Project Fear into Project Hope. This idea that we can have a better, brighter and happier nation, because there's some common ground that we've got with leavers, which is they agree with us that the government is absolutely incompetent. They're not delivering a Brexit that anyone wanted. A Brexit in which we get more money for the NHS. Well, we know that's not going to happen. But a Brexit in which we're told our rights are being taken away from us. Well, why would anyone want that? Why would that be a good thing? A Brexit for a lot of people where immigration would be cut. But that's not going to happen because we've got an aging population and we're not making enough babies to look after the old people in the future. So we have this situation now where nobody's happy. So we get the people's vote. We have to win it by a mile. We have to win it by 60%. And then we have to work on our next big project. And our next big project is going to be to make Britain happy again. Because this whole Brexit thing has made everyone so bleeding miserable. And we're sick of it. And we can build a better, brighter future for our kids, for the future of the nation, for ourselves, if we stop this Brexit nonsense and start addressing the real issues facing Britain at the moment: inequality, poverty, child poverty, the number of food banks going up, and probably most importantly of the lot, the environment. Because Brexit has been a weapon of mass distraction and has taken everyone's eye off the ball. We should be protesting against fracking. We should be protesting against the number of food banks, the terrible rollout of universal income. But instead, we're fighting Brexit. So let's get this one, nail it down, get rid of it, and then we move on to the next thing. And one of the good